I'm really excited to talk to you about the weekly energies. This will be for the week of July 6th through the 13th. So, what you can expect is a video on the full moon, which will be the 13th. We'll talk a little bit about that in this video because what's occurring now are going to bring the answers for the questions that you've been having for a while, especially around money and resources and things like that. So we'll just break down the week a little bit and kind of understand what it is that we're supposed to grow from. Remember that not everything needs to change. Remember that not everything is this big, huge upheaval, that it's really about understanding like the little tiny nuances about how your life is working and how you can kind of tweak it just a little bit. Just a little bit. Simple tweaking. Like, not the tweaking, but like, you know, rearranging things and kind of nudging things just a tad. And so, with that, I'll lead into the energy. Happy July, happy Cancer season. This is always a time of when there's new things happening in my life, and where sometimes I find myself like trying to get it all done, trying to do all the things. Generally, what I find around this time is I'm being presented with a test, and that's what Cancer does bring. The Cancer Capricorn axis does bring an ultimate test of, is what I'm doing right now working for me? And if not, in what way am I going to change that? And so, even with today's energies, Wednesday the 6th, I'm looking at my notes here. I have this like really bomb little journal made by Magic of One. I got it for free from OPA, which is OPA. And this is called magicofone.com, so I'm sure you can find their journal there. I find it super helpful. It like splits up the days and everything, and that's kind of how I culminate all of my energies. So that's what I'll be flipping through. So today we're beginning this energetic week with a lot of cardinal energy. And what that tends to mean in astrology terms, cardinal energy means these are little mini breakthroughs that we're having, little mini reinventions. You have an epiphany or a thought about a particular idea or process that you've been putting into place, maybe something that you're presented with over and over again. And ever increasingly, every time it shows up, it feels worse and worse. And you think, well, if the universe is providing me these opportunities, say for instance, you're trying to be an entrepreneur and you're moving from being a freelancer to an entrepreneur, right? And so you're trying to go from using yourself and your resources for money to then creating something for yourself and putting that out into the world, and that being your service. So if you keep being presented freelancing jobs and you keep taking them, meanwhile in the background there's this business that you're supposed to be cultivating for yourself, and you just keep running into these situations where you have these really great connections with people but they're not panning out, and you're like, I just spent all this time trying to get this contract so that I feel safe, so that I can feel good about continuing my business. And so while I'm not saying that you should quit something in order to do something, I am saying that that is what you're being presented with. And for some of you, you're able to make the adjustments. And for some of you, you give it more time. It will definitely come. So there's a lot of talk about, a lot of people are unhappy with the situations they find themselves in. They're finding themselves in either relationships, work environments, or resource situations, home situations in which there is no fair shake. And a majority of these people are having to deal what seems like diabolical change. It's not anything that you remember, because what's happening is you're bringing back the language of the lineage. And that hasn't been spoken for a long time. And when you're the weird one who's trying to do something different and speak the language of the lineage, you'll find yourself walking these outer edges and not really too sure, but still being guided. Okay. And I know that there are a lot of people out there like that. And so, with that being said, when Monday came around, Monday brought 0 degrees for Venus and Mercury. And that was a crux. Monday was like, bam, I'm not doing this anymore. At least, I hope for some of you internally you felt that there was a shift going on and that you're not any longer going to put any more emotional attachment to it. And the emotional attachment meaning you're no longer going to be overly emotional about doing the things that you got to do. I think by now you realized you've been shown through the many times over, the many situations that just don't feel good. They keep showing up in different sizes, different shapes, and different colors. They all look and sound beautiful, but when you open it up intrinsically, you still don't like it. And so it's finding that even balance of being able to let go of one branch and being able to kind of let go of it to grab onto the next. And so while that's scary, I mean, look at your life. Look at how things have been playing out for yourself since May of this year. Look at all of the things that you've really been working hard towards, having conversations with. You've been having conversations with lots of people, creating ideas, and spreading your message. But ultimately, did that get you where you wanted to see yourself today? Possibly yes. Possibly it is a yes. Possibly you realize that you no longer want to experience it in that way, and so you need to be more clear. And so I will say that a lot of the energies are asking us to be a little more clear about our intentions. We need to go back and revise. We need to go back and associate ourselves with the lineages that we're taking our information from. So, say you're a healer, right? And you do a bunch of different modalities, and you're having a talk about something, or you're talking to one of your clients. If you don't separate those lineages, what happens is there's a melding and there's a loss of what the actual intention of that lineage was supposed to bring. And so don't be afraid to give credit to anybody for the knowledge that you're taking on as an authoritative role now. Okay. So, for instance, say you were an office manager for a really long time, and now you're stepping into a freelancing role, which is I'm deciding to be a social media manager. And so maybe you've never really managed social media in that form or fashion, but you know how to manage. And so what the management part of you is asking is, can the experience of having all of this managerial office knowledge, can that translate? Can you still make that work into the new role? What can you take honestly from this role and move it to here? Can you say to someone, I was an office manager and I got to see all the ins and outs, and I knew what they needed in social media. They just weren't doing it. And I know that I can do that for you. It's saying where you came from so that people know where you're going, and excuse me, can ultimately have more respect for you. I think that what we're all running into is everybody's wanting to be this separate expert about a thing. No one owns a particular message or language or words or ideas. We're all blending and doing these things in many different ways and many different cultures. And so what's wrong with saying where that comes from? What's wrong with saying I'm still learning? What's wrong with saying I'm still in school to get my bachelor's degree? But that doesn't negate the fact that I'm qualified for this. Okay? And so all of this week, up until leading to the next week, I'll provide you with a video. Don't you worry. Um, but leading into that, like, honestly, I need you to be okay this week with kind of burning the shit down. Okay. It might feel real good for a lot of the fixed signs or fixed energied people to be able to just, I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and start this new thing. For the cardinal people, the people, who are very closely related to this energy I'm talking about today. So it's that fixed angular cross that we're all feeling. We're all just doing it in a different way. So for some of you, you're going to be producing a lot more than you were. And I applaud you and I encourage you to keep going. But set yourself some limits so that you have the energy each day to get up and do those little things. You need to touch all the little things in order for the product to come to market, okay? For those of you that are really focused on reinventing yourself, you're going to really start be looking at your relationships, your relationship to people, and your relationship to your home, okay? And so if you're really in this energy, just give yourself the time that it takes to process. You can't rush a thing. You shouldn't rush a thing. And the answers are going to unfold in the next couple days. So if you can let go of what should happen and kind of let in what divine intervention is wanting to just pop into your lap, if you can just kind of sit with that even for a couple minutes a day, I think that it'll just make it a little easier for you because the answers, like I said, are coming. We all want to know the things now. And for the last bit of you that are really putting in the work in the social atmosphere of our scope of world, when you're out in the world and you're touching people's lives and you're in the service industry and you're creating social change and you're getting people to be aware of more than just themselves. For you all, I think you need to incorporate more about this lineage and language. And I know it's already on your mind. So be okay with inserting that into whatever dissemination that you're giving to the world, in whatever form or fashion, through conversations. If it's a blog article you're writing, just be very intentful. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and I need you to know that it's not just regular astrology. There's a reason why things happen. There's a reason why planets come together and move apart and dance all over the chart. It's not because it's good or bad. It's because there is an intent. The intent is to grow from it and to evolve our consciousness. That's what we talk about here on Astrology in the Wild. This is a tribe of people. We like to talk about how we can evolve as individuals, how we can take some of the things we learned and kind of elevate them through another scope. And then again, knowing where we came from and where we're wanting to go to eventually. I mean, it's not like we're telling the future and we have all the answers. What we do is look at these energies and go, how can I really polish my life? Polishing life, not perfecting. Okay. And so that actually can look like perfection. Let me retract that. Polishing is perfecting, but perfecting in your own very special way, and knowing that there are imperfections along Friday through Sunday. The moon will be in Scorpio and it'll be moving over to Sagittarius. And so the weekend may feel a little rough, because you're actually kind of transforming a lot of things that we're talking about today. And what's going to occur is it's going to make you from Sunday to Monday want to educate yourself on the new approaches that you're looking towards. So after all of this, you're going to have some really beautiful ideas, and you need to do a little research to find out how you can do that in the most intentful way. So Monday, the illumination will start to occur, and in the sky, you'll start to see the moon and its fullness. And the fullness will come in a cardinal full moon on July the 13th. It will be a beautiful sight to see. I don't know what the names of those moons are when they mention it from the Farmer's Almanac. I'll try to include those. I just don't find any any connection to those things yet, um, as a person. But the full moon will be in Capricorn, and we'll talk more about that. But as I said, the days leading up to this, the moon is full. The night is occurring, but the moon is full. Have you ever been outside when the moon is full in the middle of the desert? Maybe you haven't. That is a life experience for some people, and it is like having a light on. It is very annoying. So you may have a little tiny trouble sleeping in the middle of the week. Might have had some trouble sleeping this week too, middle of the week. I'm hoping that you get some deep rest over the weekend. And that is the perfect segue into, I make meditation music. Okay, so my wife is the introductor, and she introduces these planetary energies that we work with when we are dealing with planetary moments, phases in our life, right? And I produce the music. I've been a musician for a majority of my life, and since Jupiter hit Aries, I've started to play again. And so that playing is actually turned into something maybe a little bit more polished. So I too have had to go back and teach myself some things so that I can be more relevant, so that I can help, and so that I can manifest the dream that I hope to see. And I can only do that by creating. And so I say that because there's so much passion in it, and um, we offer it to you for free so that you can develop a short but simple practice for yourself that you can do every day if you so choose. If you go to my website, www.astrologyinthewild.com, you're able to download either Mercury, the Moon, the Sun, or Saturn, working on the rest of the planets. But I would suggest that you would listen to as many as you can. But tomorrow I'll actually be uploading the moon meditation. And so work with that up until Wednesday. Work with the moon energy and also do the Saturn meditation. So Cancer rules the moon, and Capricorn rules Saturn. And so that's going to be the axis that we're going to be working on for this full moon. And so if you're able to take 5 minutes, it's about 7 minutes long, but you're actually only meditating or breathing. It's breathing for about 5 minutes. What we consider to be meditation is anything that gets you into a state of calm and peace. And it doesn't mean that you're able to shut everything off all the time. What it means is that things are able to come through you so that the real messages that you need to hear are apparent. And so what this meditation teaches you to do is to breathe through your life for about 5 minutes a day, and just kind of see if that helps you make some better decisions or feel comfortable while navigating in the unknown of what's happening right now in the world, in your life. Things are changing, and so are you. With that being said, the energy is fun. So the meditation, yeah, you got that part. Like I said, the energies are fun. They're new, they're exciting. We have more energy, and so use that energy to your best interests, however that suits you. But just know that it's not going to exactly be looking the same as you always have. So if you need to change a name, if you need to change your approach, if you need to include more people, be all right with that. It's okay to feel comfortable including more than just your voice or your intentions, maybe increasing that creative flow by introducing more energy, having more conversations, collaborating with a couple different people. Yeah, that was a lot. I hope that you have a dope week. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you for spending time with me. And I'll close this by just saying that, in spirit, we're guided personally, and we take with us what is meant for us, and we leave behind what is not meant. So I hope this transmission has met you in a place where you needed. And I don't know, leave in the comments below about how you've been feeling. Do you feel like things are new? Do you feel like we just closed a thing and then begun a thing in May and now we're just like, but kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it, but take care. Bye.